What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Phil Risden here, and it has been a crazy week in hip hop. We all know it has. Drake just dropped Iceman, the album that people have been waiting months for, years for, honestly. And he not just dropped that album, he also dropped two more, including Habibti and Maid of Honor, right? This spells the word him, that a lot of people have seemed to notice. I think it's a little bit of a statement, right, about him being the guy still and trying to go for 3 albums on the Billboard Hot 200. So we'll see what happens with that. But I really wanted to get into this because I've been backing away from making these videos for about a week now, simply because of the album dropping. Right? I was kind of waiting for the dust to settle, waiting for a lot of people to make their reactions, because when it comes to hip hop, I'm not somebody who just jumps down the throat of any random album that comes out. Pause. Uh, Jumps down the throat was crazy, but it's true. I'm not the one who just jumps to conclusions. I don't go for that type of stuff. I really try to sit with the music, really take the music in as much as I can, and then make my opinions. And, I feel like if there's any album to do that for, or there's any artist to do that for right now, it's Drake. The dude, yes, he is corny. Yes, a lot of the critiques about him are very, very true. But he still is a very skilled rapper who is basically playing against a very, very stacked deck, right? UMG is not helping him because of the whole lawsuit, which I have my own feelings about, okay? But on top of that, because of his loss in the beef, not only are people kind of over him, or the thought of his career is like, oh, he's over, he's on the back nine, but there's kind of like a campaign against this guy, and there has been a campaign against him for a very long time, for some real reasons, but also for some bullshit ones. We could go into it forever, but I wanted to show you guys the king of all Drake haters, Mr. Fantano. And it's so funny. This album, a lot of people first had very mixed reviews about this album, but now that it's been about a week, I'm noticing that more and more people seem to be coming over to the side of understanding how great this album is. Even me, I liked it a lot, right? When I first heard it, I was like, all right, this is cool, but I was still iffy. Honestly, if you would have asked me the first night of listening to it, I probably would have given it like a 7.5. Now I'm giving it like an 8.5, maybe a 9. I don't know what it is about the melodies, about the tracks or whatever, but Iceman definitely grows on you. And we are seeing right here, Fantano, he's somebody who's always been extremely, extremely critical of Drake. And now he's actually listening to Drake's hit song. And it's funny, you can tell that the song is a good song because of how it's getting under his skin. Not only does the song slap, this is Janice, Shut the Fuck Up, one of my favorite songs on the album. It's one of the songs that I fell in love with from the start. But as well, this is a song that definitely takes a couple shots at not only Kendrick, but guys just like Fantano. So I want to show this and see what you guys think.
White kids listen to you because they feel some guilt, and that's how your soul gets fulfilled.
Right here, just look at bro's face. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's trying to make it funny, but at the end of the day, behind those glasses, there's a little bit of a tear, man. And, I bring this up because I made a whole video talking about Fantano and this very phenomenon, right? Not only does it affect Drake, but it affects a lot of other rappers. And there's always this kind of group of mostly white dudes that think they know what hip hop is, and they can kind of dictate how a black person should be or how they should act. That doesn't mean there's not a lot of foolishness in hip hop. That doesn't mean that the bar for hip hop should be lowered in any sort of way, but it does very much mean that there is a type of guy that thinks that he should have the complete control of what rap is, and if he doesn't have that complete control, then you're just not a proper black person. And sometimes they say this in overt statements, right? But a lot of times it's more or less an energy that they give off. And honestly, when you have people like Kendrick Lamar, who are, huge, amazing rappers, but they talk about very, very social issues, right? You would think somebody with this sort of, I guess, quote unquote, racism or discrimination would maybe dislike someone like Kendrick, but it's the opposite. They actually praise people like Kendrick, and they dislike black people like Drake, someone who's mixed or someone who does not fit the stereotypical archetype of a black person, you know, whether it's in black intelligence and like academia type stuff, revolutionary type stuff, or even gangster type stuff. And listen, someone being fake is someone being fake. You can call that out at any time, but at the same time, I feel like there's an energy, man. I don't know how to fully explain it, but like with these types of dudes, there is an energy, and it's not about fakeness. You could be the most authentic self that you are to yourself, and if you don't fit a certain mold of black guy, this type of dude hates you, and he like talks shit to you. And I know I've grown up like this. You know what I mean? I've grown up with with dudes just like him making this same fucking smirk, you know what I mean? Thinking he knows more about Pharoah Monch than I do. Here's a guess, he doesn't. That's the thing, he doesn't, but he thinks he does. And it's all not to relate to me through music, but it's simply to dominate me at my own blackness. You know? So I feel like this line really hit Fantano hard, and it cracks me up, man. It really cracks me up. So go Drake for that one. Drake, you've done a lot of corny shit, but seeing Fantano sweat for a second was great. Congratulations. Now let's see his rebuttal to this whole thing.
Okay, wait, pause. Big pause, because there's a lot to unpack in that. How many bars was that? It was like at least 12 or so bars.
Yeah, it's this one of those songs where it definitely is that kind of like club song, you know, that you can just hear. You're gonna hear it in the streets, right, through cars, at restaurants, nightclubs, everywhere. But there definitely are some bars in that, and that's what I really like about this Drake album is he does what Drake does, but he is giving more substance. You know, it might not be talking about social issues, but he's giving more vulnerability and honesty about how he sees things and how he's moving through the world nowadays, especially after the beef. So it's really a good album, man.
White kids are listening to you out of guilt? Why are white kids listening to Drake?
See, that's what I'm saying. He pulled back those. You think he's fine, and then he pulls back the sunglasses. That shit stung my guy, bro. He is hurting right now. And listen, white kids listen to Drake because they just like music. You know, in fact, that's kind of been his biggest critique is that hey, they listen to you because they like hip hop, but they don't like the overall message that hip hop was birthed from, which I feel like is a decent critique. Of Drake. He could talk more about societal issues. I don't come to him for that, but I feel like anybody talking about social issues is a plus for me. That being said, that's not why they listen to Drake, you know, and I feel like, again, that kind of proves the point where it's like, I don't even think people necessarily listen to Kendrick Lamar out of some form of guilt, right? But there definitely is a type of guy like Fantano who hangs their flag on the island of Kendrick Lamar, and it is more of a statement about him than it is his own enjoyment of the music. So I do enjoy that Drake, you know, pissed him off a little bit with that because those dudes are annoying. They're annoying, man.
If white people are listening to other rappers out of guilt.
You see it too. You just look at his eyes, bro. This nigga's mad. I'll be honest, there's a lot of disses on this album. There's a lot of shots on this album. And just watching this Fantano clip, this might be the best diss. Like, there's a lot more intricate ones that mean a lot more. This might be the best one just because of this moment. He knows the shit's good too. He knows the shit's good.
It's so many. There's so many layers to it. One, it's like offensive to the quality and messaging of the music of not just maybe one or two rappers that you might have in mind.
No, and this is the thing too, is he's going to try to spin it like, oh, so anybody who talks about, you know, societal issues is a fucking loser, right? And white kids, no, it's not. There's also too, when I talk about like, you know, white dudes like Fantano, do not forget that there are tons of white dudes who listen to hip hop and care about it, like people like Kendrick Lamar, who are not like Fantano. That's who he's talking about. He's talking about people who are like Fantano. It has nothing to do really with the societal issues. It's about how a certain type of dude creates an entire identity around listening to dudes who talk about social issues. But he'll continue to deflect.
One who you beefed with when you said those lines. But it's an offense to any rapper who might put any sort of messaging about black struggle in their music. Number one. Number two, it's almost like a self-own, because if white
he's spiraling. It's funny too, because he's even getting roasted in the comments. Like, number one, people can tell that he actually likes the song, and they're like, you know, come on, man, I love your perspective on things, but objectively, the song is a banger, dog. Facts. These are all facts. Yeah, dude, your ear is trash now. The world is loving this song like crazy. This is a banger, hands down. You were hurt over the white kids line. That is definitely a fact. He's always been a hater to Drake forever. So, you know, usually when you're going into any of the comments of somebody who is a certified Drake hater, it is just going to be from top to bottom, Drake hate, fuck this, fuck that, PDF, blah, 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 shit everywhere. But this one, actually not. This might be the first time that Drake has kind of owned Fantano, and he didn't even try. He didn't even try. Most of the time, Fantano gets the best of Drake, I'll be honest. They've had a couple different exchanges before, and he's kind of clowned Drake before in like DMs and shit like that. So this is interesting, man. I really think that this Janice song is a complete hit. Right now, it's at number one, and the Billboard Hot 200 and even the Hot 100, I feel like hasn't fully changed over yet to show the results. But right now, it's number one on like every app. The thing is huge. Like, this song, I think, really helped take this album to the fucking stratosphere. So it's kind of crazy, man. And what I love about it too is, by the way, they found the real Janice. I'll put it right here. So the real Janice is this lady right here. Let's hope there's no music or anything. Yeah. So the real Janice is this woman, Janice Jose. And basically, she's the head of brand partnerships at UMG. I don't know why specifically Drake is coming at this woman. Maybe the head of brand partnerships. She probably has something to do with the partnerships between UMG and Drake right now, because Drake wants to be a separate, more independent entity. I don't know if he wants to fully be independent, but he wants to be more independent than he is now. And maybe her being the head of brand partnerships, she's one of the people preventing that and trying to stall him in certain ways. But there has been a lot of talks about UMG basically pulling or blocking content from content creators who are using some of the songs from Iceman and even the other albums as well. So there's clearly a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes with this whole Drake thing and UMG and the whole case and all this. And he's alluded to it in the album too, where he was saying, like, I'm not suing a rapper, I'm suing the man, the company. Either way, man, incredible. If we're talking diss tracks, I mean, not like us is like the crown, but I'll be honest with you, Janice Shut the Fuck Up might be the third best. Like, right under Hit 'Em Up, or under Ether, because it's not trying to be a diss. Like, it is a diss track, I guess, to this lady, but it's not really trying to be a diss track. But the amount of people that it disses and how catchy it is it's just kind of crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, this song is gonna go wild. You are gonna hear this for the rest of the summer, and every time Fantano is gonna be making a face like this, and Janice is not going to be smiling, man. So I don't know, man. This whole thing with Drake and the album is crazy. Again, the album definitely took time to grow on me, but it definitely, for me, is like an 8.5, almost a 9 out of 10 now, and it might be one of his best albums. It's a classic for me, for sure. I also am the type of guy who thinks a classic can have, one skip or so. I don't know which song I would skip. Sometimes, it kind of changes, but I love them all. Right now, I'm not skipping shit. I love them all. I legitimately think it's going to be a classic album. And this whole thing with Maid of Honor, along with Habibti and everything, those albums as well, too, are sleepers. Like, I think by the end of the summer, those albums are going to be held as classics as well. And I think those albums are probably going to reach around 250 to 300,000 themselves as well. I could be nuts. I could be crazy, but I truly, like, I was just there for Iceman, and I put on Maid of Honor just to put it on. I'm not a clubby guy at all. Fell in love with that album. Fell in love with that album. Immediately understood it. And even Habibti, same kind of thing. I put it on just a little bit. I was like, I'll listen to 3 tracks. It was like 3 a.m. And I'm falling asleep, but the songs are so good, it makes you want to go into them. Classic literally is a classic. Like, it's incredible. So, shout out to Drake for what he's doing right now, making Fantano sweat, pissing off Janice, and driving the internet wild. But let me know what you guys think about this song, Janice STFU. Do you think it's hot? Do you think it's boring? I know a lot of people that thought it was whack, and then the next day they're like, this is the greatest song in the world. But everyone's free to their opinion, man. I know there are a lot of Drake haters out there, so let your flag fly. Do your thing, man. But that's the video. I'll see you guys later. Peace.